guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today I want to share with you a book tag because I haven't done one of these in a really long time and I sort of needed another sit down video to upload for you over the next week to stay to my 2 videos a week goal. Yeah, if you're wondering, I'm really tired right now. I just came back from 4 hours of gymnastics training, 4.5 possibly. We did have a lunch break in the middle, so we started at 10. We stopped around 2:30 and it's now 3:30. That's what I wanted to say. I just had a shower, so obviously my hair's a little bit wet, but I needed to film this now because otherwise it ain't getting done, because as soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna lie on my sofa for the rest of the evening. That's why I'm already in my night stuff. I'm not gonna move. But let's get into the tag, because obviously, yeah. And the tag that I'm doing today is the beginning of the year book tag, and I know we're by the end of February right now, but I haven't done it and I haven't really done a goals video, so I thought it was a good way of reflecting on what my plans are for the year, to let you know if you are curious. So the original tag will be linked down below, and it was done by Larry, so the original tag will be linked down below. There's a total of 18 questions, so let's get rolling. The first one is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? I've set my Goodreads goal to 100 books. I have done that for the last, I want to say 3 to 4 years. I think I used to read between 150 and 200 books. Then there was a time where I read between 120 and 150 books, which is fine. But over the past year, I've been around the 100 books per year, so I don't want to go too much over that. And this last year is actually the first time since 2013, I think, that I didn't read 100 books. So hopefully I'm back on track with that. But my plan is to read 100 books for the year. And then we'll see if I'm adjusting that later on, depending on how it's going. So the next question is a book you're likely to reread over the next year. First up, I would like to continue my reread of the Death series by Terry Pratchett, the sub-series in the Discworld. This is the 3rd book, and the first time I read it, it wasn't my favorite. I think it's my least favorite in the series, but I'm interested in seeing if it's changed over the years, if I pick up on something else this time. So I'm definitely looking forward to rereading this one at some point over the year. That's all I've thought about right now. I might read more than that book, but at the moment that's the only one that is coming to mind. The third question is a priority read on your 2025 TBR, and I have quite a few. I did a video on a TBR long list, if you will, a list of books that I'm planning on trying to get to. At least I have a good selection of books that a mix of genres and things that I really would like to work on. But one I'm really looking forward to reading sooner rather than later is The Will of the Many by James Islington. I really want to know why it was one of so many booktubers' favorite reads of the last year. I don't have it's hiding away, so I have a physical copy of it, but I didn't want to get it. It's on the other side of the room, so it's not gonna happen today. The 4th question is an author you won't be reading more books from this year. I've recently done a reflection on series books that I started on last year, and there are definitely a couple of those that I'm definitely not gonna continue with. But I don't know if it's the author or just the series at the moment. So I don't have a specific answer to this one. Question number 5 is something new you want to read, new genres or tropes. I don't know. That's a difficult question because I don't have any genres that I'm swearing off completely. But I don't have anything that I really need to focus on. I feel like I read a good variety of things. But I just want to get back to the fantasy genre again. That's sort of my main focus. A popular book you want to read. I've already talked about that. That was The Will of the Many. But I have another one. Hold on. One of the books that I really like to get through over the year is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I've read a bunch of Brandon Sanderson so far, but I haven't yet to dive into his big epic fantasy, The Stormlight Archives. But I've read Mistborn and I've read Warbreaker and Elantris, but I need to work on with this. And this is definitely a big book and a big series to get into, and it's very, very popular. But I've also really wanted recently to actually read Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson and the whole Malazan series. I think that's so interesting, but I haven't really, I don't know, I don't think I want to read that on my own. I think it's a good one to buddy read, so if there's anyone who wanted to start a buddy read of that, I would definitely want to participate in that. So yeah. Question number 7 is, and the most anticipated 2025 book release. I have a couple of those. I did a video on my most anticipated releases of the year, and some of the sequels I will wait, because I think there's a sequel question afterwards, so I'm gonna talk about those then. But there are definitely a couple in the most anticipated fantasy releases of the year that I'm extra interested in. There's one by Julia Marillia that actually just came out that I'm really interested in reading, because I read one of my favorite books of last year was by Juliet Marillia. I'll put the cover of it here because I can't right now remember the title of the book. And then there is also a one by David Dalglish that I think sounds super interesting, and I think it's just up my style, but I've never read anything by the author before, so I definitely, those two are probably my most anticipated 2025 releases that is not something I know from already. Question number 8 is a bookish goal for 2025, and I mean, I have quite a few. I want to work on my series constantly, so I'm doing the stacking the series thing. I want to try and finish some of the books that I've started, because I've started too many, and I want to make a focus on reading more from my own shelves. But I know that I also enjoy reading from my Kindle, so I'm trying to balancing it out. I am usually trying to fit in a physical read of my own during the day, during the evenings and stuff, and then before bed I read from my Kindle, and in that way I get a little bit of both, and I think that's been working for me so far, so I think I'm going to continue with that. Question number 9 is a book that's been on your TBR but you probably won't ever read. I actually do think that with so many started books that I haven't completed, that I have a lot that I don't intend on finishing it, but then I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be finishing The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. That whole series, I think I'm gonna unhaul it soon. But then there's also Labyrinth by Kate Moss. I don't think it's my thing, but maybe if the mood strikes, and I'll try it out. But so far, I don't think I'm ever gonna read it. But I'm not at a present time a place where I'm also deciding to unhaul it. So we'll see. I think it's a sort of split timeline. Yeah. Between 1209 in Carcassonne and in 2005, so a split timeline. Question number 10 is a series you want to read this year. I have already talked about the Way of Kings, starting out the Stormlight Archives. I obviously have my Stacking the Series. I'm working on some book series. I would like to also make progress in Sebastian de Castell's Greatcoat series. I would like to make progress in John Gwynne's Faithful and the Fallen series, and finish the book that I'm actually currently working on. But I don't really have a specific series that I think I'm going to start and finish this year. That will be too much for me. But I do have some things that I really want to try and work on over the year. And question number 11 is an author by authors going into 2025. I mean, last year I really got into R.S. Gray. R.S. Gray is one of my favorite romance authors now. Up until before that, Nora Roberts has taken that spot, no questions asked, and I still think that she's there, but R.S. Gray is definitely close to her now. She's one of my favorite contemporary romance authors right now. Anything I pick up by her, I really seem to enjoy it. So anytime I see something from her that's on sale on Kindle or something, I will buy it and have it ready for someday when I need to read a quick romance in between. So I definitely intend on continuing with her books over the next year. Question number 12 is a book to show adaptation you're excited about this year. I don't know if do I have one of those? I don't think I do. I'm not really one that loves seeing adapted stuff. I tend to get a little bit disappointed. So I don't know if I have anything for that question right now, but I do think I have enjoyed Bridgerton, but I don't know if there's going to be a new season this year, so I don't know. But that would be great because that's going to be Benedict, I think, next time. Even if I didn't like his books, I'm looking forward to seeing what they will do with that on the show. No, I don't even know exactly what's being adapted over the next year, so that's not something I focus on too much. So yeah. Okay, question number 13 is a sequel you're anticipating. So now we have the anticipation of a new sequel, and I have 2 of these. I've already talked about them, most anticipated, so they're not gonna be new in any way, but one of them is The Martian Contingency. This is book 4 in the Lady Astronaut series. This is my favorite sci-fi series so far. I think I really loved the first 3 books. The first one was a 5-star favorite of the year. The Relentless Moon was also a 5 stars, which was the 3rd book. And I don't think it was my favorite of that year, but it was definitely in the top 10. And then I have the 2nd book, which was a 4.5 stars for me. And so I have high hopes that I'm really going to enjoy the series so far. It hasn't disappointed me. So looking forward to that one. And another sequel I cannot wait for is The Silverborn, the 4th installment in the Morrigan Crow Nevermore series. And we've waited for that for a long time, I feel like. So those are my two main anticipated releases of the year. I can't wait for them. So yeah. And I'm also looking forward to, I just saw that the Time Police series, I haven't caught up to it completely, so, but I have a book of that in my list of the books to read over the next coming time. So I also saw that the 5th book is coming out later in the year, and like that looks really interesting. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Question number 14, the bookish things you're leaving in 2024. I don't know. I just want to be better at picking up books. I mean, be better at prioritize my reading is going to be something I'd want to focus on. So I don't know if it's a, so yeah, I don't know. Question number 15, what to expect from this account? Yeah, I'm trying to post 2 videos a week. That's my aim. I'm going to do quite a few vlogs, but I like having something, a mixture of a normal vlog and themed vlogs. And right now I'm filming a themed vlog. And sometimes when I do themed vlogs, it takes a little bit longer for me to get through books because I'm not the fastest reader. I do have a full-time job on the side, so I have to find time to actually sit down and read them. And also I do a lot of gymnastics in this next coming time. That's why I have been to 4 hours of gymnastics training today, because over March all the weekends are booked up with different gymnastics shows. So I know my reading can be a little bit sporadic sometimes, but I still really want to try and focus on putting up 2 videos a month. And I think from after February I'll wrap that up in normal style. From then on I think I'm going to do a weekly update instead. That will be a good sit down video every week talking about the books, because I seem to have a hard time remembering what I want to say about the books when there's like a whole month of books that I need to wrap up, and I like having a little bit more time to talk about the books that I actually read. And I will also try and post more singular reviews. I've already posted 1 this year. I haven't done that in years, and I need to get back to that because I know it's a good way of getting more traffic into your channel. Some of my most watched videos are from my reviews of different books, and all of those that I've done has definitely some of the highest view counts. So yeah, so it's definitely something I want to prioritize again. Question number 16 is, how has your reading taste evolved from last year? Actually, so I want to say I started my booktube channel in 2016. Until 2022 I read 80%, probably 60% of this was fantasy, of different types of fantasy, but primarily adult fantasy and middle grade fantasy a couple of times and stuff like that. Not romantasy so much, and not young adult fantasy either. That wasn't really my preferences, but I do read a couple of those. But then the other 30 to 40% was probably a 20% sci-fi stuff, speculative fiction, of other type of speculative fiction, and then I have the last 10 to 15% that was romance or thriller mystery stuff. Now it's a lot more divided, a lot more, yeah, I read a lot more romance books right now. I read more mysteries, so it's a bigger mixture of things, but I still want to put my focus back on fantasy, because I think I still tend to really enjoy fantasy books more than romance books when it comes down to it, because I think that I seem to be easier for me to find really high rating books in fantasy genres rather than romance genres, even if I do enjoy them. But often romance books for me will be 4 stars, which is not bad or anything. But they were easy reads, and it was easy for me to pick up over the years, where I had a lot of things going on, both in my personal life, but also just with my headspace and stuff like that. But I'm back on my normal, more or less normal track, but I think it's a bigger balance now between fantasy and romance. So that's what you can expect from my reading tastes right now. So I think it's going to be evenly split between fantasy and romance, and then evenly split between sci-fi and mysteries, and then a couple of thrillers in there and horror books over the year, and we'll see how that goes. Question number 17 is booktube creators who inspire you. There's a lot of those, but I could talk about so many here that has inspired me over the years. Some of them don't sadly do videos anymore, which I'm really sad about. But today I'm going to focus a little bit on some of the, I won't say lesser known channels, but definitely not the biggest channels that has inspired me, because I think you all know the bigger channels anyway. So, but I would like to shout out Sarah from the Bookish Knitter. She is amazing in her romance genre. I really enjoy seeing her content. She reads a lot of category romances, obviously. She reads cozy mysteries, so I get a lot of recommendations in that area. And I just like her as a person. She does a lot of, and she's such an inspiration when she can uploads videos every day. I find that inspiring in so many ways, that she has the energy to do that. And yeah, and also what she had to go through last year and stuff, just super inspiring to see that. Some other people I obviously really enjoy. I enjoy Shannon Riddler's videos when she posts. I think maybe she'll start again soon. I don't know. I have really been enjoying Literary Science Alliance. She makes excellent reviews. If I could review books like her, that would be great. I think she does it so well. And then we have, I really like Staritina. She does a lot of good vlogs. She doesn't have a big following, so I really like, but I like her videos quite a lot. I really enjoy Melissa Renee as well. I think her vlogs are also always so fun to watch. But then again, I also always see fun video ideas from bigger booktube channels, and it's inspiring to see how many great ideas they get, and they really go out there with their videos. And if I was a faster reader, I'd do that as well. But I'm trying to do a little bit of different things, taking inspiration for some of them, and hoping it will go okay. Yeah, but yeah, I have so many that I take inspiration from. It's difficult to mention them all. I really like to shout out Steph, from Steph Loves as well. I've really come to enjoy her videos over the last year. She is, yeah, her vlogs are super good. I like her reviews, wrap-ups and stuff, and she's always good at making sure, like, she has the different readathons, literature, and the finishing, what's it called, final book support group stuff, which is so, yeah, fun to be part of. Even if I haven't taken part in any of the readathons yet, it will be something I'm prioritizing trying to do over the year. So we'll see when that happens. But I have really enjoyed watching her videos over the year. So yeah, anyway, that was that. Do I have more? Then I have the 18th question is something you want to say to anyone starting a bookish account. I mean, I don't have the biggest following, so you maybe take my advice with a grain of salt. But if you want to do it, do it. If you like, yeah, it takes some effort obviously, but try to be yourself as much as possible. That's also really important. I think it will show if you're not yourself. I think it will show on camera. Another thing, in the beginning, maybe try to film a couple of videos that you don't intend to actually upload, but just to try to get used to the fact that you're speaking to a camera. That will probably help you a little bit. Right now, when you get into it, it's not super weird, but in the beginning it could be a little bit weird trying to make sure to talk to a camera and stuff and be present in that way, and that way you can look at yourself and see, okay, what could I do differently probably before you actually upload something. For me, I definitely noticed that in the beginning of my YouTube career, I've done this since 2016, so it's been a while, and but in the beginning I spoke a lot slower because English is my secondary language. I obviously am from Denmark, so Danish is my first language, so sometimes when I have to speak, I felt like I had to speak a little bit slower to make sure that I was saying the right things. But as you get more used to making videos and stuff, I think it becomes a little bit better. I still try to speak a little bit slower so everyone would be able to understand what I'm saying, because I think if I speak too fast it could be a little bit mumbly or something like that, and I don't want to do that. So anyway, this was all of the questions for this tag, and yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna tag anyone. If you want to do it. Let me know in the comments down below what is some of your goals for 2025 that would be fun to read. Do you have a book or book series that you really want to work on this year? Let me know about that in the comments down below. And are there any booktubers you've discovered over the past year that you really enjoy? Then also leave them down below, because I always would like to find more to watch. So yeah, anyway, this was everything I had for you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.